you put the pieces together to a degree. Are you just as curious as a player to kind of see how it all fits?
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be the first game where we have close to the full lineup in, right? So it's always an exciting game where you kind of see where you're at, what work you put in over camp. So I think we're all excited, and then obviously in a couple days, it really starts. So we need a good game tonight, and sharpen in every area that we can.
Dylan Holloway's come in and gotten himself some notice, elevated up the lineup a little bit here and there. What's your sense of the camp that he's had and what he seems to be bringing?
Yeah, really good, really impressive. Obviously, he's had a tough couple of years. As a young guy, he wants to play games, and I think he was robbed of that a little bit over the last couple of years. So there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement around him, and you can sense that in him too. So he's done a great job. Obviously competition's going to ramp up. We all know that, but I think he's ready for it.
Leon, what are some of the components of his game that's made him so effective?
Well, I think it's just his skating ability that puts him into situations where he can make plays and make the right reads and use his hockey sense. I think it all comes from that with him, and obviously with that he's pretty tenacious as well. So he's got a good little package going there.
I know it's early in his tenure, but Jack Campbell, what are your impressions of him as a teammate and also as a goalie?
He's a special guy. We all love him already. So it didn't take long. He's awesome. He's very positive. Wants to get to know the guys, wants to be involved in everything, and we're very lucky to have him. And obviously on the ice, I think so far he's played very well, and looking forward to watching him in a full game tonight.
Excuse me. So fans are going to spend the weekend, looking at the roster and trying to figure out sort of what's new this year and what's different. As a leader on this team, when you look at the roster, what are the things you see in this year's roster that may be a little different tweak or maybe excites you a little that's not the same as last year?
I don't think we changed too much. We got a few guys that came back, which is nice. I think everyone kind of knows where they're slotting in right now, and obviously we have a new goalie tandem, which will be an adjustment time in terms of communication with especially the defensemen. But other than that, I think our team is pretty much very, very similar to last year. I think we're all just excited to get going.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement about this team, not just in this city, but around the league, about what you guys can do and you're capable of. What do you guys feel in this room about what you can do and what you're capable of? And does that come with a little extra pressure, I guess, this year?
We know we're capable of a lot, but there's a lot of work that needs to be put in to get to that. You don't get handed anything in this league, so we have to make sure that starting next Wednesday or Thursday, whatever it is, game one, we're ready to go and we're ready to work for what we deserve. And I think if we do that, we stick to our game plan, we work, we compete as a team. I think our skill will take over, and there's lots of excitement in our group. But again, we have to work for that first.
On a lighter note, how was your fishing experience? And is that something you've done before?
Yeah, it was good. It was great. But if you don't catch anything for 5 hours, it can.
Any bites?
Not even a bite. No, zero, nothing. I took a half-hour nap on the boat too. I didn't miss a thing. I didn't miss anything.
Were the guys you were with catching?
No one. The entire boat, nothing. We went bagels. Yeah.
Did you ever fish before? Do you like
I have, yeah. Not sturgeon fishing, but I've fished before. I've caught a couple. Not an experienced fisherman here by any means, but it was all in all though a great day. Great team building day, and great to get to know the new guys.
It's all about technique. If you're not doing it right, you're not going to catch it.
Sure, 100%.
I saw you having a little chat with Larson.
curious as everyone else to kind of put the pieces in place and sort of see what it looks like. Is that maybe what we'll see a little bit of tonight?
Yeah, I think so. I don't want to speak for the coaches or the management, but I think they're putting a pretty good lineup together tonight, and we're gearing up our last game obviously for to be ready to go next week. So it's been eight preseasons, a lot of games, so it's been a longer camp, but I think we're in a good spot, and we're looking forward to getting going.
Is there a characteristic that you think this group maybe focuses on this season? Obviously, you had lots of success last year, but if there's one thing you kind of, as a group, want to pull a little bit more out of yourselves, what that would be?
I don't know. I think that last half of the year we were kind of building, piecing our game together, and it kind of came together, and we had a good run there. Obviously, didn't end the way we wanted it to, but we're just going to keep building off what we did last year, and I'm sure Woody's going to have some pieces for us to keep adding and continuing to advance our game. But there's no one thing in particular. I think we've got a pretty good understanding of what makes us successful and the systems and the style we want to play. So we'll just keep maybe adding little things to it.
There's a lot of excitement about this team in this city and then throughout the league as well. A lot of people are picking you guys to contend for the cup. What's the mood in here, and does that, those expectations bring a little pressure to this group?
No, I think the expectations and the pressure has probably been here for years now, even before I got here. So that's nothing new, but I think that's maybe the thing that's changed in here, and I don't want to speak for other teams in the past, but you can feel the belief in here now. It was nice to win a couple rounds and kind of take it off a little bit of a pedestal for us, and we were right there. We were in the conference final, so I think the belief in this room is definitely there now, and we understand how good of a team we can be, and we're just excited to get going and just kind of just stack wins together and put ourselves in a spot to get into the playoffs, and then we go from there.
You talk about how you want to build off last year, and you figured out some stuff last year that your team does well. Can you figure that stuff out if you don't play in big games? We've heard that for years. Teams play in the regular season, they say they learn, but do you learn more when you're playing Game 6 in LA, when you're playing the third round in Colorado?
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing like playoff hockey, and the regular season's great, and it if you're not a good regular season team, you're probably never going to win the cup. So it starts there, and you have to put the work in and be things have to be rehearsed. You have to know what you're doing, and then you get into those big games like you mentioned, and there's nothing like those. The emotions, the pressure, and everything you're feeling there, you can't replicate that without doing it. So I think that was big for us to get some reps last year. So we'll look for more this year.
What are the things that fans are going to look at the roster, and they're looking at some tweaks and couple new players and a few new things? What are the things you see that are maybe different? What are the things that have changed a little bit here?
You guys know as well as I do, hasn't been a ton of changes to the roster from last year, and I think that's it's a good thing. I think we were a tight group, and we had some chemistry, obviously, and there's definitely some tweaks here and there. But again, I've played one game with Ryan Murray, and I'm still getting to know guys myself, so it'll be interesting to see.
Tyson, one of the big takeaways from last year when Jay Woodcroft came in is how detail-oriented he is. How much does the team benefit being together on the same page for a full training camp for him to implement what he needs to?
Yeah, you can. It almost, when he came in last year, didn't want to throw too much at us right away, and like I mentioned, we've had 8 preseason games, and we've been going every day, and it doesn't feel like it's we understood it here last year by the end of it what he was expecting and looking for out of us. So it's almost a refresher, and he's adding some new things. But for the new guys coming in, I think it's they get it now too. It was a long enough camp where he was able to implement everything he wanted to, and it should let us hit the ground running for game 1.
How much does a defenseman have to kind of adjust their game based on their goaltender? Obviously, Mike Smith played the puck a lot last year. Now you have a new tandem. Maybe take us through that process.
Yeah, there's definitely an adjustment as far as Smitty was, one of the best puck handlers probably to ever play. So that was, going back for pucks, that really made it easy. You'd be open and he'd blow one by you to the winger for a breakaway or something crazy. So that's different. But I think I know Soupy's a good puck handler, and I thought Skins played it really well in the preseason. And you're at the end of the day, they're there to stop the puck, and anything they do on top of that is a bonus. So we'll be getting back there quick for them and giving them some communication, and we'll keep it simple on them.
I know I won't ask you to kind of handicap the race for spots on the blue line, but as you look around, you got Philip Broberg trying to find his way. Nima Linen comes in and pushes. Samarukov is still here. What do you see from all this young competition that you have really fighting for spots? It's kind of a good thing for the organization, I guess.
Yeah, it's depth. It's a great thing. I think, we're not. I probably won't be here forever, and these guys are all going to get a chance at some point. And they're all, could be this year. Who knows? But they're all great young players, and you guys know as good as anyone throughout the year, you get injuries, and people need to step up. And sometimes you break in halfway through the year or whatever. So we definitely aren't lacking depth back there, and it's a nice feeling. I think we got a really good decor and really good depth overall.
Thanks, Tyson.
On your camp as you approach the last preseason game here, are you happy with the way things have gone for you?
Yeah, I've been feeling pretty good. Feeling healthy, feeling strong out there. All the guys have been great. It's been good meeting a bunch of guys and seeing a bunch of guys that I've met through the years and stuff like that. So it's been a good experience so far.
What was it like for you coming in here, and there's a pretty established blue line, and there were just a couple of spots maybe at the bottom of it to try and earn. Obviously, it's a little different for you. Like, what was it like coming in here in that sense?
Yeah, I think guys deserve it the way they played. They played last year. It's such a great season here that they had. So, guys definitely deserve that, and you don't expect them to change much if guys have kind of earned that opportunity again. So, I just want to go out there and do what I do and show what I can bring, and however they want to use that, then whatever opportunities you get, you go out there and make the most of them.
Did it take maybe a little bit of the pressure, the spotlight off you if you just go out there and play? Like, you don't have to worry about impressing, you don't have to worry about doing, just go play.
Yeah, I think that's what you always want to do, and try to be yourself, be authentic out there, and just do what you do, not too much, not too little type deal, and just try to go out there and make your plays, and that's kind of what I've tried to do, and hopefully I've impressed some people, and now once we get into the regular season here, you just want to make sure that you're sharp and doing the right things.
Do you think that's where experience comes in handy, where you know what you can do and go out and do it?
I think so. I mean, you want to you want to put your best foot forward, but you don't want to chase it either, right? And it's kind of finding that healthy medium part, and I think experience definitely helps with that. But I think being sharp and getting the rust off too as well. I mean, everyone's had a long summer, and you don't play for a long time, so just making sure that you're sharp and if you make mistakes, to clean them up and stuff like that, and kind of know how to get better and clean things up. And I think that's really important at this point of the year, is just trying to be as sharp as possible.
I want to ask you about Seattle and them getting an expansion team in that area. You're familiar with that area. What does it mean to that area, and what are you expecting out of the second year of the Kraken, I guess, just as far as fan-wise goes and things like that?
I think there's great hockey fans down there. I think, I played in Everett for 4 years, and we had fantastic fans, and the whole U.S. division down there, Seattle, Spokane, Tri-City, there's a lot of great hockey fans that, like to get loud and like to cheer for their team. So, I think it'll be a great place to play there.
I got a question from a colleague at NHL.com. He wanted to ask me about, wanted me to ask you about Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, how they've kind of come up together and put this thing together, and how have you seen them kind of evolve, and now that they want to take this team to the next level? Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've seen them both as young men. I've seen them grow into the leaders that they are today. Obviously, lots of individual accomplishments in their NHL careers and in their international careers. I think both are driven by team success. And they're pushing every single day to be the best that they can be and to set a standard for our team to help move the needle forward here in Edmonton. And, for me, I'm lucky because I get a front row seat to all the things that happen behind the scenes, all the work that gets put in. And they're two great young men, two really good hockey leaders, and they're pushing each and every day.
They seem to take a lot of pride in that, and it's obviously rare to find one guy like that on a team, but to have two of them, it's a bit of a luxury, I guess. But how do they kind of work together in that regard? They're both pulling in the same direction.
Well, first of all, I would agree with you. I think it's really special this time in our lives here in Edmonton to have players of that caliber, people of that caliber leading our team in this proud franchise. How are they working together? They're magic when they're on the ice together. They're committed, as I said, to being team first. So they understand that they, sometimes they're together, sometimes they're not. I said this the other day regarding the leadership side of things. I think it's more than just setting examples for both of them, although they do set great examples. I think it comes down to, holding people accountable to the standards that they set. And when people come up short, they're the first ones there to try and help. And if it continues, they're not afraid to let people know that we need more at certain times. I think that's a true definition of leadership, and we're lucky we have both of them.
And just one last one for me. I wanted to ask about Ryan Murray and just what impression has he left you here at training camp, and what have you learned about him that maybe you didn't know?
Yeah, well, he's a quiet guy, so you don't learn much about him. He's not, coming in your office and spending hours in there regaling you with stories about his past. But he's somebody that I see as a real solid professional. I had the experience at the World Cup of Hockey of meeting him and coaching him there. I see someone who goes about his daily business. He's serious about being the best that he can be. He's competing for ice time. He's competing. He's like everyone else out there. He wants to find some privileged ice time. He wants to be the best that he can be so that he can help the team win.
Your team played some pretty important, pretty stressful, big moments last year. Game 6 in LA, some of the games of the Calgary series, figuring it out against Colorado. Maybe you could put into words, how do those things make you a better team? How does those moments that you've lived through help you win this year?
Well, you're talking big picture there, Spec. I'm thinking about tonight's game. More than that, I would say the bulk of the players on our team this year are returning, and they got to experience that playoff run in those big games that you're mentioning. I think anytime you're in those situations, you're gaining experience that helps you as you move forward. It helps you because you were forced in those circumstances to find solutions. And we can draw on those solutions or draw on that experience as we get ready for the rigors of an 82-game schedule. And you notice I said that, an 82-game schedule rather than the postseason, because I have a firm belief that, we begin the race with 31 other teams. That starts next week. It actually starts today. The NHL regular season starts today with the games in Europe. And, we want to make sure that we carry those lessons that we've learned on that run into this season to help propel us, because we can't worry about game 83 right now. We got to take care of our daily process. And if we do, and we draw on those lessons, I think it sets us up down the road. But we got to take care of the day's business.
Jay, with the conclusion of training camp and preseason, how would you describe your experience in implementing what you need to do to kind of set this team up for the regular?
Yeah, it was a good experience for me. Training camp's not an easy time of year. It's with some of the day of travel and day back travel, all that kind of stuff. And what was asked of our players, the intensity, the volume of work that was being done on the ice on a daily basis, not easy. But I believe that it lays the foundation for the start of your season. It wasn't an easy camp. It was not an easy camp for our players. So to get through that, to continue to get better, and I think we're a better team now than we were 2 weeks ago. We got a lot of work done. From the coaching side of things, we got to touch on a lot of areas and lay bits of a foundation that we'll be able to draw on as we move forward.
Jack Campbell expected to play the full 60?
Yep, Jack Campbell's in tonight.
Does the system change at all with the new tandem in terms of, Mike Smith played the puck very regularly and very well, and now Jack Campbell, I know he plays the puck very well, but maybe not as frequent. Does that change anything in your perspective?
Well, I think you keep it in mind for sure. When we're talking systems or tactics for our team, big thing is we want to make sure that we're building a way of playing that suits our personnel at our disposal. And Jackie is a good puck handler. It's obviously Mike Smith's probably the best ever. So it does affect things, but I think Jack's puck handling is pretty good and fits the way we want to play.
Can I ask you a couple questions about your lineup?
Sure, Ryan.
Preseason. On the blue line, in Samorukov, Niemelainen, Broberg, are all of them going to be in the lineup tonight, or just a couple? What's the plan there?
None of them will be in the lineup tonight.
None of them. Okay. How would you characterize the competition level for those three? Basically, there's only so many spots here available on the team, but it seems like it's been made very competitive. And how would you characterize how close the competition is in this moment for the spots that are there?
It's the competition. It's on a razor's edge right now. Everybody brings something different to the table, a different type of ingredient to the team. I thought we've had a real competitive camp, and when you do that, usually the answers become clear or the cream rises to the top. But it's been tough because we've seen some really good camps there. For me, I think that's what you want as a coaching staff. Those are first world problems to have when you get so many good players to choose from. And I think, it's going to make for some tough decisions here as we move forward.
On certain teams, based on where you are in your development, you bring players along and you can afford to have them learning on the fly, playing NHL games. Other teams that maybe are in a different stage, you're looking for more NHL-ready guys. How would you characterize your willingness to have younger players learning on the fly versus just needing to ice the best lineup on that given night? Development versus the moment.
Yeah, really, I like the way you put that, development versus moment. I would say that we have room on our team for people that are going to make our team better. I think youth or younger players bring a level of enthusiasm to the rink that I think helps some of your more veteran players along, especially during a long season. And I think over time in Bakersfield, and certainly last year up in Edmonton, I feel comfortable putting youth into the lineup and putting them in positions to succeed. So we're going to try and ice our best lineup. But the NHL also is not a development league. This is it's an everyday league, and it's, where we're at as an organization is that we're going to try and ice the best lineup possible on a nightly basis.
Jay, I know these last preseason are a chance to get the team kind of that's going to be starting the season their last look, but with Warren Foegele and Kyler Yamamoto, are they going to need a little bit more time to rest up, or should they be good to go tonight?
Yeah, they won't play tonight. They're nicked up, and but they're making progress, so hope that both are feeling better and are in practice tomorrow.
Thanks, Jay.
Good, thanks, guys.